I think it's important that you do take the time to just enjoy where you're at and try to worry less. Just really embrace life, create the beautiful moments that you can wherever you are, as well as still striving to achieve those goals.
Hello and welcome to the Ndini podcast. I'm Sandra Chuma. Every week, I'm bringing you conversations with bold, inspiring, trailblazing, and influential women of African descent. These are women from all walks of life, women who are entrepreneurs, artists, social activists, athletes. Each one of them, in their own way, is changing the narrative on what it means to be an African woman. They'll be telling us about their journeys and sharing their secrets to success. And I hope that by hearing their inspiring stories, you will be inspired. Oh, Whitney!
Hi.
How are you, my dear?
Fine, thank you. Yeah?
So, I'm going to start by saying, describe yourself. What is it you do?
I'm a full-time YouTuber, model, and public speaker, as well as I'm a fashion student at Parsons. So yeah.
What does that mean when you say I'm a full-time YouTuber? What's a full-time YouTuber?
Well, a blogger, but my platform is mostly YouTube as opposed to like a blog, so I prefer to say YouTuber.
And what kinds of things are you blogging about on YouTube? It's not a blog, right? It's a vlog. Is that the term?
Yeah, that would be the term. Just hair, beauty, and fashion, and really just lifestyle. Anything that's really about me.
And how did you get into this?
I've always liked the idea of being in front of the camera. I love that, and I love sharing as well. So when the whole social media, YouTube thing came about, I was very much interested in it, and I just always felt like I didn't have like something to do to have a YouTube channel. So when I went natural, I felt like that was like the perfect excuse or reason to have a YouTube channel. So it started from natural hair, and now I'm just like transitioning into different things like beauty, fashion, style. Yeah.
Latching on to that, Whitney, I was on your YouTube channel, and your most popular video is called How I Trim My 4C Natural Hair. And looking at your videos, a lot of people watch your hair care videos. Like, what do you think it is about natural hair care that draws so much attention and so many viewers?
I think everyone's hair texture is different, so everyone is always looking for something that they can use and apply to themselves. So you can never have too many tutorials. And then, I have 4C hair. A lot of people relate to that because they feel like they don't see enough people with my hair texture on YouTube, or at least like focus or attention on that hair texture. So it's always nice for them to see someone they can relate to. That's always nice.
Have you always had your hair natural?
No, I was relaxed for most of my life, I think. About eight till I got to 18, I think. So yeah, I had relaxed hair for such a long time. And I remember just being bored of relaxed hair. Like, I was just like, my hair is boring. Because I'm someone that's also into change. I like switching up things in different way. And just having a relaxed hair, I felt like it was just a dull thing to have. Like, it had no life, no personality. And at that moment, natural hair was like a huge um, there's a lot of attention on natural hair. And I remember being on Tumblr so much back then until I was inspired by women that would just post pictures of their natural hair. And so you'd see different textures, lengths, colors, styles. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely for me. Like, it has so much life. Like, it's never the same thing. You always constantly have beautiful, different looks. And I just really love it. And so that inspired me, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go natural. So, I transitioned and then got my big chop. My twin sister actually helped me with my big chop. And yeah, I was fully natural.
What are some of the challenges? Because I know I'm a Black girl. I know that natural hair can be challenging. What are some of the challenges that you've faced or that you see or that people ask you for advice about when it comes to natural hair?
I think for people, it's just really understanding that you in quote have already built in negative thoughts towards natural hair. And you're not really aware of it till you have your own natural hair and you're complaining about, everything like my hair is so hard, my hair is so this, is so difficult. And I think people don't realize that. So they ask me and I'm like, your hair is perfectly fine. It's just you. You just lack the understanding, and that is it. Because at the end of the day, for you to have soft hair, or if you're having hard hair, it just means your hair is not moisturized. And it's as simple as finding a product that works for your hair and constantly moisturizing it. I think people still see natural hair as relaxed hair, and they're not yet open to fully understanding that natural hair is its own thing. And you need to like ask questions, watch a ton of YouTube videos to figure out what will work for your hair. And stop meeting your natural hair with negativity, but rather positivity. I don't think I've ever said my hair is too hard or like saying it in a bad way. I think a lot of people they say it in a bad way, like my hair is so hard. What can I do? Like, sometimes it's just realizing maybe you just need to Google a bit more and find what helps. And just really appreciating that natural hair is its own thing. It's not relaxed hair. You can't use the same techniques you did for relaxed hair, your natural hair. And just really appreciating that it's a different world that you didn't know about. And so now you have to learn about it. When you had relaxed hair, of course you were learning as you were growing up, so it didn't seem tedious to you. But now it's like you're older, so learning about your hair feels like extra work. But it's just because, you never grew up with your natural hair. And so you should take the time or the patience to actually learn.
What are some of the best tips that you've discovered? So you talked about moisturizing being very important. What are some other tips that you would give for someone who has 4C natural hair like yours?
I think really it's just to play around with products and figure out what works for yourself. Obviously, I have people like me with fussy natural hair, and I do share videos on products that I absolutely love on my hair. So it's starting from there, like, oh, okay, Whitney has fussy hair. It looks like mine. Let me try the products she's mentioned. And then you find out maybe not everything will work for your hair, but I'm sure at least one thing will work. And it's practice. That's why I always tell people like I'm not saying go and buy exactly what I bought. I'm not saying do exactly what I've done. I'm just giving you a starting base, and it's for you to go out and actually listen to your hair. And I think that's really my advice to people is always just listen to your hair. We might both have the same hair texture, 4C hair, same characteristics, same looks, but maybe your hair just doesn't like coconut oil the way my hair likes coconut oil, just as an example. So it's just important that people do take the time to learn about their own hair and, stop comparing. Like, that's my biggest advice to people. Stop comparing your hair to anyone that you're watching or getting advice from. Just take the tips they're giving you, but make sure to apply it in a way that is beneficial to you and that makes you love your hair. And I think that's also part of, my biggest advice is you should be doing what will help you love your hair, not hate your hair.
Whitney, we've talked a lot about hair, but you also do a lot of other things. So makeup is another big thing that you do and that you do a lot of tutorials on YouTube. How did you get into makeup? Was it something that you grew up doing, or how did you learn how to do your makeup?
I think I'm very big on personal appearance because I know like your appearance can take you so many places, and it's really, that's the first thing people see. And I'm also interested in fashion. So I remember just being in college, university back in England, and I just felt like I wasn't really a representation of what I wanted to be. So I would say I'm in fashion, and people would look confused, like, are you really in fashion? Because obviously I didn't look the part. So for me, I wanted to change that, and I was like, what can I do to make sure, like, even before I tell people I'm in fashion, they can already see it? Like, that's the first thing they see. So I watched YouTube videos and I practiced. You practice, 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 watch a ton of videos. Eventually, you will grow and you learn and you just master the art of makeup. So for me, it was me trying to change my appearance or aesthetic or vibes to really portray fashion. And so I dedicated a lot of my time back in college watching makeup tutorials and even just practicing on myself, even if I didn't have anywhere to go. It's as simple as watching like an eyebrow tutorial and saying, okay, let me try, and you compare what you've done to what they've done, and kind of criticize yourself in a positive way, like, oh, okay, maybe you should do it this way so that you really highlight your own beauty. I think at the end of the day, when you practice, you learn what works for your face, not what works for another person. So you're not literally copying another person's style of their face on yourself. You're learning the skills but applying it in a way that enhances your own beauty.
What are some of the things that you see Black women doing wrong with their makeup? I know on your YouTube channel that you've made some funny videos of some of the mistakes that Black women make. What would you say are some of the biggest ones that you see?
I think it's foundation shade. I think a lot of people struggle with that. Just because, if you don't know your own like skin tone or things that help you with picking out your makeup, sometimes even going to a makeup store and asking someone to pick your shade, they won't always get it. Like I know I've gone into some high-end stores asking for my shade, and they didn't even know my shade. They were like, "Oh, I think this is it," and then me going to another store from the same brand and asking, and they're pulling out another shade. So it's like you really have to know it yourself. I think that's one thing with being, a woman of color is that people don't really know our skin. So you have to know your own skin. I think that's one thing people get wrong is that foundation shade. And that's just knowing like your undertone, what your skin tone is like. Like, are you yellow? Are you orange? Are you red? Sorry. Are you like more of a cooler, neutral tone? And then from there, it's like you grow and you learn how to pick your own shades. Now I don't even ask people. I just go into a store and I know my shade so well, and I just like walk out with it, And I think another thing is just maybe eyebrows. People are a bit like heavy-handed on the eyebrows, but like I said, you always just have to practice and really take the time if you want to master certain skills. It might seem silly or like superficial, but at the end of the day, like if it's coming from a good place, it's not superficial.
Whitney, you have a really big following on YouTube, on Instagram, on pretty much across all of your social networks. How have you been able to grow such a big following?
I think that's one question I never seem to know how to answer in just one simple sentence. I think it's just accumulation of everything, in different ways, opening yourself to different opportunities to collaborate with people, also trying to push your personality out there so people can really feel it, even from just a picture or from like, a video or a little text. It's just for me, I think collaboration has really helped, and also just staying true to yourself. I know that sounds like a cliche, but people do read, fakeness, or you trying to be someone else. Because I know definitely from my end, sometimes I can feel some people are changing or like they're not really being true to who they were. And people do grow and change in different ways, but I think at the end of the day, there should always be that essence that doesn't ever change. And I think that's one thing that has helped me as well. It's just not trying to be anyone else but myself. And I think that really helps you to grow a following and just, mastering what you need to attract a following, taking great pictures, knowing how to work your colors, training your eyes so you see like the beauty in things or how you can improve. And it's definitely something that doesn't come easily. It's definitely something you always have to try and try and try and try and try to finally get to a place where you're like, okay, I like this. So it's a combination of things.
And what's the secret? So you just talked about taking great pictures, and you do take really great pictures. What's the
Thank
what's the
you.
secret to taking a great picture and great selfies?
I think it's practice. That is really it. Practice and also looking at other people you admire. Not saying you should copy them, but take cues from them, like take tips. And there are loads of videos on YouTube teaching you how to take a selfie. And I think it's really you standing in front of a mirror and looking at yourself and mastering like your body, like your angles. Taking your phone and mastering how to hold your camera in the right position. It's a lot of practice. And I think people think it's not, but it really is. Like it really, really is. It boils down to practice because if you don't practice, you can't really just wake up and be great at selfies. It's something you really have to constantly do, like every single day. Even if you're not trying to post the pictures, but like just picking up your phone and just working your angles, seeing what looks best, noticing why you like a picture that you just took. Even like your favorite people, look at their pictures. Notice like, oh, I like when she shoots from the side. I like when she her camera is held up a bit high, and kind of putting that with yourself, and that's how you really learn things and then make it your own in a way that your personality shows through. So it's not like you're being someone else or copying someone else. It's just practicing gets you there.
Whitney, you're a beauty blogger now, but that's not where you started or what you went to university to study. Can you tell me about what you actually studied when you went to school?
Well, I studied law. So I studied law back in England for about 3 years, and then I graduated and got my degree. So then I moved back to Nigeria to pass my bar exams. So now I'm a barrister and a solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So yeah, I started with law, but that wasn't really what I wanted to do initially. But that's what my parents wanted me to do. But I always made it like a deal. Like once I'm done with law, I will study fashion design. And so once I was done with law, I moved to New York to study fashion design at Parsons. So yeah.
I'd love to know, what did your parents think when you decided you were not going to be a barrister?
I think they've always known, and it's something I've always told them constantly. Like I would remind them every like chance I got, like, oh, I'm so glad, after law, I'm going to be a designer. That was something I would always say to them. And I think just even when I was studying law, that's when I started my YouTube channel. That's when I started modeling. That's when I started a lot of things in fashion. So it was also like a constant reminder. And it being successful in little ways, but like being featured in a magazine, working with brands. I think it just really showed them that this is what she's really going to do. So at the end of it, they weren't shocked. It was what they knew was coming at the end of the day. So it wasn't like a big I did not know. They knew.
I know you say they weren't shocked, but were they disappointed that you decided to pursue the fashion career?
Nah, they weren't. They were just like proud that I finished the law. I think that was like they were just really proud because when you're called to bar in Nigeria, it's like a huge thing. You're wearing your wig and gown. I think they were just really proud of that moment. So there wasn't anything to be disappointed about, really. I don't say they've ever been disappointed about my choice. I think I've been able or I've been smart enough to show them that I can be successful in it. And I think that's what's really important. It's just showing people that you're not just saying things, but you're actually working on it. Because it's easy to be like, oh, I'm going to be a designer and, not actually do anything about it. So yeah, I don't think they were disappointed.
Now, you share a lot about yourself online, and you've shared on your channel some very painful moments. I remember a video where you shared about moving to New York and some of the challenges that you'd had. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. I think the challenge I had was just really financial stability. I think that was like the main thing because I was moving here to, basically support myself and just, achieve my goals. So just having a stable source of income was kind of hard. I think at first, even just getting a job was a lot harder than I thought, because I initially planned like, don't worry, just move, in a month you should be able to get a job. And that wasn't really working out. It turned out to be like 3 months into me moving to New York, I got a job. Because I really moved here with nothing. So there was a lot of pressure to like, well, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to make things work and to get a job. So that was really like a big thing. I think for me, why I wanted that was, to really train myself and not to be dependent on, what my parents have to give me or to offer. And I think that's one thing people love about my journey is that, it's not me waiting for a path to be created in some way, but it's me actually trying to create that path. So that was a huge struggle. The financial part of it was just really hard finding a job, and then even when I found a job, my boss wasn't, he was nice at first, but I felt like he wasn't really a genuinely nice person. So that made working for him even difficult. I was just really trying to get my foot grounded, really, because there was so much I was trying to achieve. And I didn't, I was, there's so much I was trying to achieve. So obviously I wanted to achieve as much as possible. So yeah.
So, a question for you then, in terms of how does a beauty blogger make money?
You make money through a variety of things. I think for me, like I said, just I don't put myself as just a blogger. I model, I do public speaking. So for me personally, I try to put myself in different scenes because I have different skills as well. But for a beauty blogger, it would be, YouTube collaboration. So, brands paying for or sponsoring a video, maybe working as a model for a brand. It's just really collaborations and partnerships with brands.
If you were to give advice to somebody who's looking at you, looking at, what looks like a very glamorous life, a big following on social media, where would you tell someone who's looking at what you've built, where would you tell them to start? How would they start to become similar to what you've done?
I think I always tell people to just start because I think a lot of people they want to be perfect. They look at their idols or people they really look up to, and these are people that have amazing YouTube studios at home, and they think, oh, I want to have that immediately before I start. I think it's just really important that you start from where you can or from how you can. So it's as simple as picking up your iPhone, borrowing a camera if you need to, and creating something. And then always asking questions, always Googling for answers, surrounding yourself in environments that will help you learn more. So it's really just starting. I think that's why I try to tell people like just start and eventually you will grow, you will learn, and you get to where you want to be.
What's your biggest dream for yourself? What do you want to accomplish?
My biggest dream would be to be a designer, fashion designer, and that's really what I'm working towards.
And who are some of the people who inspire you?
I have people like Serena Williams, Oprah Winfrey. I think they inspire me because they're really grounded, and that's really important to me. People that are grounded and they're not moved by the trends of the world. They're just really they have values they stick to and they don't compromise that, and they're really hardworking women. So they really inspire me to reach for the stars, and just to always be who you really are, no matter the situation. At the end of the day, you will be successful.
What's the one piece of advice that's really resonated with you or that you feel other people should really take on board, regardless of whether they want to be in this field that you're in this career that you're in, or in any realm?
I think one advice I would give is to just really enjoy life, even as you are striving for your goals. And I think it's tough to do that because, you're worried about so much. You're trying to achieve so much, so you just really want to always just be working, 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 and then you'll rest when you achieve it. I think it's important that you do take the time to just enjoy where you're at and try to worry less, and just really, embrace life. Create the beautiful moments that you can wherever you are, as well as still striving to achieve those goals. And I think one thing that has resonated with me was this quote that I found by Najwa Zembian. And she said, "These mountains that you're carrying, you are only supposed to climb." And I think that's such a beautiful quote because it really sums up everything that I felt for since I moved. And it's just really you acknowledging that you definitely do have challenges, but they shouldn't be there to weigh you down, and you should be able to overcome it. You should be able to stand tall even in the midst of those challenges. I think that's why it goes back to just really creating great memories and trying to worry less about life.
So you're in the business of beauty, looking good. What makes you feel the most beautiful?
What makes me feel the most beautiful is just me acknowledging that I am me acknowledging that I'm beautiful no matter what. So in makeup, outside of makeup, in beautiful clothes, in ugly clothes. I think it's just realizing that I am me and nothing adds or subtracts from that, and that I'm just me. I think that's one thing that I love. Just my self-love is what makes me really happy, because sometimes I'm just, you know, I do a lot on Snapchat to tell people like it's okay to hype yourself. Like I take a lovely picture for like an Instagram post, and I'm on Snapchat hyping myself like, guys, like look how beautiful I am. Like, oh my gosh, and people love that because there's nothing wrong with saying you are beautiful. Like you should be able to hype yourself. You shouldn't be waiting for anyone to tell you you're beautiful. You should really just be there as your own cheerleader.
And what are you most proud of right now?
I'm most proud of the fact that I moved to New York. I think when I was planning to move, I didn't think of it as a big deal. Like I would say I'm moving to New York, and my friends, and people would be like, "Oh my gosh, you're moving to a new country, you're moving to a new city by yourself." And I would always look at them like, "Yeah, it's not a big deal." Like I didn't see it as a big deal, but they did. I think it's now I actually realized how big of a move that was, and how big of a risk it was. So now I'm like, oh wow, that's actually such a huge thing to do as a person. So that's one thing definitely I'm proud of.
And what emotion do you feel most in a day?
In a day, it depends. I think it's either anxiety, worry, doubt, or just joy, happiness, and a carefree mind. So I think it's always on those two sides. It really just depends on what has happened, what my bank account is looking like, if I'm getting any opportunities. Yeah, it really just depends.
And what are you most afraid of?
I think I'm most afraid of not achieving my goals. I think that's my hugest fear, like just not achieving what I wish to achieve, or the way I wish to achieve it, or the heights that I wish to achieve it.
Now, I've had the pleasure of meeting you in person, and I came away from it just being struck by joy. If I had to kind of think of one word to describe you, it would be joy. What are you most excited about in your life right now?
I won't say anything in a particular. I think I've just learned to be happy about the simplest things. I think that's how I stay happy, or that's how I always stay full of life. And it's just literally seeing something and it's cracking me up so much, or like, oh, I love flowers, and so like if I'm so happy about flowers, some people look at me like it's just flowers, like why are you so happy about flowers? But for me, that's really how you stay happy about life, is because if you don't acknowledge the littlest things that will bring you joy, then you're always going to be waiting for the biggest things to bring you that joy. And the biggest things are always harder to get than the littlest things. So it's, birds chirping, flowers, sunsets, dogs. I'm just always really excited about the littlest things, laughing a lot about the littlest things. And it always seems like nothing to people, but that's really how to stay happy. It's like you have to be happy about the littlest things, anything, you have to be happy about it, and that makes you happy.
Is there anything you would change about yourself?
No. I think I've learned to stop answering questions like that, or questions that kind of relate back to regrets, because then that's how you get into the world of depression, or not being satisfied with your life, or just feeling like my life could be better if I didn't do this, if I didn't do that, or if I did this or that. So for me, I just rather would say no. Like, everything that is me or that has happened is for a greater good. So I shouldn't see anything as I wish I could change that, because then again, it's part of my story, and it's going to be part of the person I will be. So yeah.
You talked about going through life and looking at the little things and gratitude for those little things and those being the things that bring you joy. If you had to say one thing that you are most grateful for right now, what would that be?
I think just being alive. I think that's the one thing that I'm grateful for, because life can feel very like overwhelming and disappointing and just pointless. So I think I'm always grateful to have another day, because that's the only way you can create memories, and you can praise God about it, and you can talk to people about God, and you can strive, to achieve those goals you want. So I'm always grateful to have another day, because no one knows when they're going to die. So it's nice to appreciate that. Even in the chaos of life, I'm glad that I have another day.
Whitney, we're going to change gears a little bit
Okay.
and we're going to do a quick fire round. So now this one, the rules are I'll ask you a question. You don't have time to think about it. It's the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay?
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
nervous.
No, don't be. The hard part is done. You're good.
Okay, good.
Okay. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Happy, spontaneous, energetic.
When you hear the word successful, who's the first person that comes to mind?
Ooh, Oprah Winfrey and Serena Williams. They're both attached.
What's your favorite book?
John Green, Fault in Our Stars.
And what's your favorite gift to give?
Flowers.
What's your favorite gift to receive?
Oh my gosh. Flowers and chocolate.
What's your favorite thing about the place you live?
Oh, the windows. The sun comes in beautifully. I'm in love with the sun.
Now, this is one for you because you're in the fashion business. What's your favorite item of clothing?
It has to be like a slip dress, like a silk dress.
What's your favorite time of day and why?
The morning. Oh my gosh. I love the sunrise, and then I love like how quiet and still life is, especially with just the birds chirping and then the cool breeze. It's just a beautiful time.
Name 2 people you'd like to have dinner with and why.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Serena Williams and Oprah Winfrey. Because I'd love to have them as like a mentor.
What's your favorite meal or thing to eat?
Oh, I love desserts. Oh my gosh. Like, you're making me hungry right now. I love desserts.
What can't you get through the day without?
Lip balm. Oh my gosh, I hate dry chapped lips.
And what's the screensaver on your phone or on your computer right now?
Oh, the screensaver? Well, I actually made it because I wanted words that I could resonate with. So it's like flowers, and then I put the text, Lord, help me to understand who I am and my purpose on this earth.
Oh, that's deep. That's a great screensaver. What's your favorite app?
Ooh, my favorite app is Snapchat. Well, before they did this crazy update, but I love Snapchat.
Do you like Snapchat more than Instagram stories?
Oh, I love Snapchat more than Instagram stories. I feel like that's why I bond more with people. Like, if you have me on Snapchat, you basically know my personality 100%.
Other than your phone, because I know you probably always have your phone with you, and your purse, what do you carry with you every day?
My rosary.
And what's the favorite place you've ever visited?
Anywhere that has a sunset.
Okay. Well, if you had to pick a song to be the theme song of your life, what would that song be?
What? That's a hard one, man. Anything Funk Ocean, Strawberry Swings, because I love the feel of it.
What do you wish you had more of in your life?
Money.
And the last question, what's a question you wish people would ask you?
Wow, I've never thought of that. Um, how to stay true to yourself. I think that's it.
And what would you answer?
I think it's just acknowledging that there are different sides of you. So, yeah.
Whitney, it's been such a pleasure spending the last hour with you. I've loved, loved, loved. I loved meeting you. I loved chatting with you, and I wish you continued success. I just want you to share with us where we can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Whitney Madueke. So that's Whitney, WHITNEY You can find me on Snapchat, Desiree. But if you find me on Instagram, you find all my links as well. So follow me on Instagram and then you find every other thing.
And I have one last question. So, Ndini is I am in my mother tongue, Shona. Finish that sentence. I am.
I am me.
Thank you so much, Whitney. Thank you. Thank you. It's been such a joy chatting with you.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Ndini podcast. I don't take even a single listener for granted. As you know, my goal with this platform is to help shift and change the narrative on Africa, and in particular about African women. But I need your help to do that. Please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher. You can also follow us on SoundCloud. And please share. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave a review on iTunes. It helps me to bring great guests to the show, and it also helps others discover the podcast. And of course, I always want to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on my conversation with our guest today and what you took away from it or what inspired you. I'd also love to hear from you if you have suggestions for other women you think I should absolutely have on the show. Our handle on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is @Ndini Media. Or you can reach out to me through our website, which is ndini.com. That's NDINI.com. Until next time, I'm Sandra Chuma. Be well.